welcome once again to Real Shame, a show where us two blockheads talk about movies that we have not seen. So they are from our list of shame, something like that. Movies that one or the both of us have never seen, at least on Mondays. Wednesdays, it's all fair game. My name is Andy.
And I'm Adam.
And last week we talked about an adaptation of a sci-fi novel by Frank Herbert called Dune. We're still kind of in the fantasy, maybe not science fiction, or maybe you could classify it as science fiction, I don't know, but fantasy definitely realm. We're going to talk about a couple of books adapted from a series of novels this week. But before we get into those movies or the movie that we're going to talk about today, we always like to start off Monday's episode with what we have been watching. So, Adam, what have you been watching lately?
So, Kirby and I ventured into the theater and we watched No Time to Die.
Oh.
I've been very excited about this new outing of James Bond. I've been fairly happy with the Daniel Craig version of James Bond out. I feel like his movies are better than are more good than bad, right? There's more good ones than there are bad ones on here. Cary Fukunaga, who directed this movie, he did an outstanding job on the first season of it's the show with Woody Harrelson. It was on HBO. I can't think of it right now. Whatever that was, did an outstanding job on that season. Oh man, whatever. I can't think of it right now. You know what it is.
I can't help you.
You're yelling at the screen right now. He did a great job on that. And also he helped usher in the new version of it. It ended up going to a different director, but he did a lot of the pre-production on it. And I think he has some screenwriting credits on It Chapter 1. And I think It Chapter 1 is far better than It Chapter 2. And I attributed that to Cary Fukunaga's work on it. So I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's me. That's what I'm doing. So I will say, without spoiling it, because we're not really talking about the show, it is one of the better James Bond movie. It's not blow me away awesome like Casino Royale was and all that kind of stuff, but I'd say it's a good James Bond movie. And if you're excited at all to see it, go see it. Be safe. Do all that kind of stuff. But that's what I kind of watched. Now I'm gonna toss it over to you. What have you been watching?
More sports. I did manage to squeeze in before it left HBO Max. I did watch the latest Clint Eastwood movie called Cry Macho. What's that reaction?
It just looks so bad.
Yeah, I didn't like The Mule, which was the last movie that I saw, and I think it was the last movie that he did. And so Cry Macho, I didn't really know. I mean, I knew it was like him and a little boy that he kind of is tasked with taken to, I don't know, I knew it was like a road movie kind of thing where he takes a young boy. So the plot is Dwight Yoakam is the boy's father, and the boy is living in Mexico, and Dwight wants him brought back to the States for maybe less than honorable reasons. But anyway, I didn't really have much of an opinion going into this movie, but I actually thought the movie was pretty good.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, well, but
not what I expected.
It's not. It's just somebody described it as kind of a hangout movie, and I kind of agree with that. There's not a lot of emotional weight to it, at least for me. I mean, there is some in the movie. Maybe that's a bad thing to say because people are like, "Hey, I cried" or something like that. Well, I didn't, but I thought that the movie was just kind of him and the kid kind of driving through Mexico. They make a stop in a particular town where they get to know some of the people, and they do just kind of hang out in a way. I mean, they're being pursued by some authorities and whatnot, and there's his mother actually has sent some guys after him. But it's just kind of a breezy movie. Yeah. It's not super long, as I recall, and I thought it was pretty good, actually. It was better than The Mule, and from everything I've understood, it's much better than 15-17 to Paris, which I hear is really, really terrible. Of course, I didn't see Richard Jewell. I guess that's another movie. Yeah. He's not in Richard Jewell.
He directed it.
The Mule is the last movie that he directed and was in, I believe, which I didn't care for. But I actually thought this movie was pretty good. I did read some reviews afterwards that criticized The kid's acting, I didn't think the kid was that bad. And a lot of reviews criticized how Clint Eastwood looks. I mean, he's 91, I think, years old.
The old.
So, he looks like a 91-year-old. He does look pretty brittle. But hey, if I live to be 91, I'm not a filmmaker, but if I live to be 91 years old and I can still get up, move around, and, like Clint Eastwood's making films still, I think you should be happy for the man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether you agree or disagree with who he is in real life, because I know, he definitely has a strong stance politically and some other things, forget all that. If you like his movies or if you like seeing him on screen, I thought it was a fine movie. And I love Dwight Yoakam. I like Dwight Yoakam's music, and I think Dwight Yoakam is one of the better musicians who also acts. I think Dwight Yoakam actually does a pretty good job anytime he does a movie, and I think he's pretty good in this. He's not in the movie a whole lot, but he's definitely plays an integral part in the movie. But I thought the movie, and maybe it's just because my expectations were kind of non-existent for this film, but I thought it was pretty good.
Right.
I would actually watch it again. I feel like it's the kind of movie you could put on and just kind of have on in the background.
I might actually watch this movie now because of that.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought it was okay.
So it's Cry Macho.
Cry Macho. Macho is the name of the rooster that the kid owns, in case you're wondering. Okay, so let's get into today's movie, which is
The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
And no Oxford comma.
And no Oxford comma, unfortunately. So follow the Prevency children as they discover, I think that's how you say it, a new magical world in The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It came out in 2005.
Yes, but you are, in fact, human.
Yes, of course.
What are you doing here?
Well, I was hiding in the wardrobe in the spare room.
Spare room? Is that in Narnia?
Narnia? What's that?
Oh, dear girl, you're in it. Everything from the lamppost all the way to Castle Cair Paravel on the Eastern Ocean. Every stick and stone you see, every icicle, is Narnia.
Would you call him Prevency?
I think it's Pevensey.
Pevensey? Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
You're like, whatever. I don't care.
This movie is directed by Andrew Adamson. Andrew Adamson.
Hey.
You would know him from the first two Shrek movies. He directed the first two Shrek movies. Mm-hmm. It is written by Anne Peacock and Andrew Adamson, and also Christopher Marcus and Steve McFeely. Do those names ring a bell to you?
I feel like they do.
But they should.
Because
they wrote the best Captain America movies, all three of them, and they also wrote the last two Avenger movies, the Endgame and Infinity War.
I know the names, but you're more up on the MCU than me.
Marcus and McFeely, great writers. So this is based off a well-known book series by C.S. Lewis. And if you're wondering, what does the CS stand for? I'll only tell you, it stands for Clyde Staples.
I never knew that.
Me either. So I looked it up. He's known for his works of fiction, especially the Screw Tape Letters, the Chronicle of Narnia, and the Space Trilogy. I have not heard of any of those besides the Chronicles of Narnia. The Chronicles of Narnia is a series of 7 fantasy novels by that novelist, and it's illustrated by Pauline Baynes. Originally published between, 1950 and 1956? Is that right?
Yep.
The books are The Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, The Return to Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, not the band, the book, The House and His Boy,
Wait till tomorrow,
the Magician's Nephew, and The Last Battle. I actually saw this movie originally when it came out in theaters. I thought it was going to be pretty cool. It got greenlit hot on the heels of the Harry Potter books. They were doing good. They were getting critically acclaimed. It's like, what other, Anglo-Saxon, what's the word that they use for people that are like Anglophiles kind of thing? Mm. What other kind of Anglo novels do we have that we can make into a movie series? And they're like, we have C.S. Lewis's movies of books. So they did that. So I remember seeing that in theaters, but it's a series that you've never seen. Mm-mm. So I'm going to toss it over to you. What'd you know about the Chronicles? Have you read the Chronicles of Narnia? books. What'd you know about the movies, and what'd you think?
Well, all I need to know about the Chronicles of Narnia is Lazy Sunday, right?
The crowd what calls
Right.
Narnia.
Everybody knows that famous SNL Lonely Island sketch, whatever,
Yep.
where they talk about going to see the Chronicles of Narnia. No, actually, I read the first book, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, when I was a wee lad, when I was a youngster. But it's been so long ago since I was a wee lad, I really didn't remember anything about the book at all. I mean, it has been a long, long time since I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I remember there was a wardrobe in it.
There was.
And I remember there was a talking lion in it.
It was.
But and I remember there's some kids.
Aslan.
There was some little pesky kids going into that wardrobe and going into the land of Narnia. But I didn't remember details. So seeing the movie, and I watched the Harry Potter movies kind of when they came out and as they came out. I don't know what my reasoning for never seeing this movie was. I guess I just probably thought it was more for kids. I don't know, but well,
I'd say it's more for older audiences than I would say the Harry Potter movies are. But maybe
I think just at the time I thought, well, that's probably like a kids movie. So I wasn't really interested. Yeah, I don't want to see that kid stuff. So I wasn't really interested in seeing it, but I did, and I didn't realize there were 7 books in the series for some reason. I guess because there's 3 movies. I thought there was only 3. Books. I was like 7 books.
3 movies, and then I think they're gonna try to reboot it on Netflix.
Are they?
What I hear?
Are they gonna try and make all 7 finally?
I hope so.
It's exhausting. All right. No, but so I sat down and watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Again, no Oxford comma. And I thought this movie was good. I enjoyed it. It's a good kind of fantasy involving kids. I don't want to say a kid's fantasy because, as you said, I do think that it is darker than I thought it was going to be. There's some deaths and things getting killed in the book and some kind of darker moments that are in this movie. But I thought overall it was good. Tilda Swinton, I think she just showed up. Yeah. She just showed up in the outfits that she actually wears in the movie because she's kind of strange.
What she wears in normal life.
That's what she wears in normal life. But I thought she's good as what do they call it? The Ice Witch?
Yeah, she's the Ice Witch.
Crazy. The White Witch. Okay,
yeah.
Jadis the White Witch. Yeah, I didn't write down any of the cast. I'm glad that you did. Liam Neeson obviously always is good, even if he's only a voice. But of course, I always think about his Taken monologue every time I hear Liam Neeson.
I know what you did, White Witch. I know where you are.
Aslan has a particular set of skills, and those skills
include... And they include roaring.
They include roaring, yes.
And talking.
And James McAvoy, who we mentioned him last week. Yeah. We talked about Dune because he's in the Children of Dune miniseries that was on the Sci-Fi Channel, but he plays Mr. Tumnus.
He does.
The little fawn with
little fawn man.
A nose and
ears and fawn legs.
Funky looking CGI legs in parts.
I think for its time the computer graphics on here was pretty bleeding edge.
I didn't think they were that bad. Yeah. There wasn't anything that I remember anyway that was like glaringly
There's a couple
bad to me. Maybe
in front of a blue or green screen where it's like, okay, that's apparently
when they're standing kind of up above, I think like looking off in the distance, and you can clearly tell that there's like a CGI backdrop or whatever, a green screen.
I'm thinking like Edmund and the White Witch, like on the sleigh, and you kind of But it's good. It's still really good.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, I thought it was good. The movie is kind of long, but I honestly didn't really feel the length of this one. I did feel the length of the second one for sure. Know. But this one, I thought it went by pretty good, even though it was over 2 hours. I found it interesting. Other than the people that we mentioned, Tilda Swinton, Liam Neeson, and James McAvoy, I don't know the rest of any the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they've gone on to do other things. I mean, for one thing, part 2 of this film, Prince Caspian, but I don't think I've seen them in anything. I didn't recognize any of them, I guess.
Yeah, I think they've done like a couple. They didn't blow up like the Harry Potter children blew up.
Yeah, right.
But I think we have William Moseley as Peter Pevensey or Pevensey, also known as the High King Peter the Magnificent. We have Anna Popplewell as Susan. She's Queen Susan the Gentle. I've seen her in a couple of things, I feel like, since then. We have Sikander Keynes as Edmund, and he's King Edmund the Just. And we have Georgie Henley as Lucy, and she's Queen Lucy the Valiant. I think of names go, Peter probably got the best name. being magnificent is better than just being just or
Yeah.
gentle or
See,
valiant.
all of those names, all of those actors' names, I don't know. There's another William Moseley actor who's to me much more well known than this William Moseley. In fact, when I saw William Moseley in the cast,
You're
I
like,
thought
"Oh."
it was that William Moseley, and I thought surely not, because he does more like horror films and
Yeah.
stuff. He's Chop Top in
Uh,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
So I like this movie too. I think this movie is pretty good. I think there's a couple things that kind of there's one thing that's kind of glaring in this movie is it feels like they were trying to grab too much from the book, and it feels a little too like compressed. You know what I mean? It just feels like we're going from one thing to another to another to another, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of cohesion between what's going on. And I feel like there was a bunch of things that they saw in the book, the screenwriters saw in the book that they wanted in the movie, and they tried their best to kind of cram them in there, right? So things felt cramped, and I feel like if we would have excised bits and pieces of it and maybe, changed the way the story was, and they have kind of changed the way the story was, because how like Lucy finds it instead of just exploring the house, she finds it during a game of hide and seek and stuff like that. I think the stuff they did change made the movie better, but I think they could have gone a little bit further to make the movie feel a little less like cramped together and stuff like that, in my opinion, right? Also, don't like Santa Claus showing up just giving him stuff. It just feels like I wrote in my notes, Deus Ex Santa Claus. Basically, he's just like, here you go. This is what you're gonna need for later on. Like, to me, that just felt.
I mean, I did think that
random.
was weird. I did. Is that in the book? I have no idea.
I'm sure it is. I don't know.
I thought that was weird too, but I just kind of went with it. I didn't know if it was just for the movie or if it was in the book, because again, I don't remember details of the book. But yeah, if it's in the book, great. If it's not, it didn't really bother me. I guess.
No, but I'm with you. I think this is a really solid movie. I think both. I think both movies we watched were really good. So I don't know why they didn't make all 7 movies. I don't know if it was finance stuff on the back end or if they weren't that well reviewed. But I think they had a pretty strong direction they were going with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I liked this movie overall. I thought it was good. We did mention Jim Broadbent plays the professor. Yeah. Honestly, I forgot about him because he's not in the movie hardly at all.
And he's also in Harry Potter. He plays Professor Slughorn, I believe. That's correct.
Yep. Horse
Slughorn. So yeah, I think this is a really good movie, really good adaptation, and I'm glad you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, or do you want to talk about where the critics found it?
No, I mean, I think it's good for adults. I think it's good for maybe older children. Maybe some of it is a little bit dark, so maybe not really wee youngsters, wee lads and lasses, but maybe a little bit older. But yeah, it's a solid, good fantasy adventure film, and it is 76% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and it did not have an audience score for some weird reason. Yeah. But Leonard Maltin and Roger Ebert both agree. They both gave it 3 stars. So thumbs up from Roger Ebert.
I mean, you could either watch the 1984 adaptation of Dune, or you can watch this.
I would much rather watch this. I would much rather watch this, yes.
What's cohesive and what's not.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. So, again, wanted to follow this up with the second movie of the series, one that I haven't seen. I only seen the first movie. I don't know why I remember liking the first movie, and I remember liking it. I like this time. I don't know why I didn't watch.
You were so over Narnia by the time the second one came out. Like 3 years later, you were like,
boo!
You changed, man.
Boo!
You changed.
Yeah, I was booing in the theaters. So yeah, we're gonna follow it up with Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. So stay tuned to that on Wednesday.
Alrighty.
All right, guys, it's your turn. Let us know what you think about Chronicles of Narnia. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave a comment down below. If you're listening to us on your podcatcher of choice, shoot us an email, realshame@gmail.com. We also answer viewer questions sent to that email address. So please send us your viewer questions, realshame@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, share the show, do all that social media stuff. It really does help spread the word, and we really do appreciate that. And stay tuned in a couple days as we go back into Narnia, much like the children, the privacy children. Nope, that's still saying it wrong. The privacy children. Stay tuned for that. We'll see you soon, guys. Bye.